chillin', serial killing, pre-cold villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos, by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the Straight Chillin' Crew.
What up, nerds? And welcome to another head-to-head episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 554, recorded on Sunday, November 16th, 2025. Tonight we're talking about the winner of the November poll, which was Freddy vs. Jason. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show tonight. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy, Rand Diesel. What's up, man?
Oh, bitch.
What's up, baby? Place your bets. Who you got, Bob? Where you going? What's your bet?
My bet is
Who's
Catherine
drunkest
Isabel.
here?
Maybe you. I think you have a tell.
You win.
This Everclear's kicking your ass.
Oh my God! Yes, it sure is. I don't wish it was Everclear. I don't know why I started that sentence.
Nobody wishes that.
I can't follow along with that bit.
I need to just sip grain alcohol straight. Neat.
I refuse to yes and Everclear. That's just bad for your health.
Good man. Good man. Last but not least, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got Shaboy Soju. What's up, man?
Oh, what up, bitch, your boy? Yeah, Stein. Never forget, bish.
I think everybody
Never
got
forget the name.
What a throwback to a week ago I've already forgotten about.
It makes so much sense. It's so easy to pick up on.
And it's so easy to remember, so you'll never forget me. Yeah, Stein.
I forget you all the time. This is gonna help. This is gonna help a lot.
Shaboy Yaistein. The soju, the man, the soju. Yaistein,
Yaistein, the man, the soju, the man.
We got too many jokes.
Portugal, the Yaistein man.
Yaistein, the mang, the soju, the mang. I don't know. Check it out. Our third host. Hey, we're talking about Freddy vs. Jason.
These are jokes that you just won't know if you have not listened to this before or listened to the last episode.
I'm kind of mysterious, you see. That's kind of my role here on the
bullshit.
Nice bop.
Derivative.
I call bullshit on that.
Yes. We're talking Freddy vs. Jason. Before we get into it, let's tackle a little bit of housekeeping real quick there, gentlemen's. We do have a poll posted on our Patreon website, our December poll. If you support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this December. The theme for December is Sleigh Bells. The movies you're voting on are Day of the Beast, Saint or Saint, and The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Whoa. Bomb. How those numbers looking? Heading into, the back half of November, boys. Time keeps on slipping.
Keeps on slipping into the future.
Okay, let's not.
The numbers have slightly shifted. The positions of the movies really haven't, though. So Day of the Beast, last place, still 22% of the vote. Second place, Saint or Saint, 28% of the vote. The Wolf of Snow Hollow, first place, 50% of the vote.
Oh,
damn.
Seems like it gained some ground there.
It did. Yeah, it sure did.
Good. Every time this is a surprising poll because every time you read those first numbers, I think it's going to be closer than it actually ends up being.
You know, I've been like Day of the Beast has got a little bit of a reputation that I didn't know about, and that's not the one that I picked for the record. But like I'm a little bit surprised that people aren't as curious as I am about that one.
That one was, I remember, I'm not sure. I have to go back and read my article. It might have been one that actually maybe didn't end up making my article because I watched it late when I was putting that together. But I was really surprised by it, honestly.
Juice,
it's got like a sleeper classic sort of reputation. Sorry, Rob.
What article are you talking about? Let the folks know.
Yeah, on our website, straightchilling.com. Yeah, Rolling Stone. Man, is that still a thing? I wrote an article highlighting 25 Christmas horror films you should check out for the season if you want to do a 25 Days of Christmas. And that was, I think, back in 2023. So it's a couple years old now. But yeah, it just highlights, because it was funny. I was listening back to some of I made a Christmas playlist as well. And I was listening back to some of our old episodes, and we were talking about P. Deuce. And at that time, we were all saying, I can't even think of 10 Christmas horror films or whatever we say in the episode. Yeah, I know.
It's a deep well, but the quality. The quality.
I mean, of the 25 I listed, I'm going through it's the article is called The Top 25 Best Christmas Horror Films to Watch This Holiday Season. And honestly, I mean, you can get a good, I think, 15, 16 in before the quality really starts to maybe kind of take a dip. And I mean, honestly, it's pretty solid all the way through, to be honest with you.
Sentimental hogwash.
There's I mean, Calvair's on there. So, I mean, that one would be a hard...
Not an easy
watch. It's just a hard watch. Yeah, but, I mean, Calvair's on there. It's a Wonderful Knife is probably the worst one on there. But, I mean...
Well, I like that one, so that kind of blows up my argument.
Well, then, yeah, I mean, I think I think most of them on there. I, cut out a bunch of them, too. I could have gone more. But, yeah, I didn't put, really shitty ones on there.
Well, that's good, because it's a top 25 list.
Well, I mean, might fit cleanly in there.
I actually think I don't put Day of the Beast on here, so that's just an extra on 26. There you go.
It's a bonus.
All right.
Yeah. Check it out, straightchilling.com. If you want a little list there. Get your votes
and vote for Day of the Beast if you want, or anything else on that poll if you are a patron.
Or anything else. I think all three of these are pretty solid Christmas horror movies that we have not reviewed yet. There's still some out there, man. I
actually didn't even... Oh, I did. I was about to say, I didn't put The Wolf of Snow Hall in there, but it was number 24. But yeah, they're all good. Yeah. And some of them I forgot about. I'll just give a little Bodies on here. I forgot about that one. That was one you recommended, Bob.
Yeah, nobody... I think that one has just completely...
That's that Into the Dark film, isn't it?
No, that is another movie called Body. But
I was going to say, I don't remember that being a Christmas movie, but go ahead.
There's another one that's a Christmas movie, and it's from the early 2000s. I forget the year exactly. Yeah, it's totally worth watching. Three girls, they are trying to celebrate together in this abandoned mansion, and things take a pretty gnarly
that movie is actually pretty fucked up.
And then they start perusing each other's bodies, and then you pay $10 to see more. Is that the movie you're talking about?
You just got to turn it on and embrace the Christmas spirit of the film.
Okay, all right,
He's going to find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
This side of the nut house. Get those votes in before the end of November. We'll see what movie we're talking about this December. We are dropping mini-casts every other Friday over on Patreon. We just dropped one this past Friday. Your boy, me, is talking about The Black Phone 2. The Big Black Phone of Time Deuce.
Whoa, I didn't even know they got the Big Black Phone of Deuce over in China, I think, So there we go. Our Chinese correspondent, me, is representing over there.
And now over to me. Me? Don't do a me.
God bless.
Do not do a me.
God bless anybody who's...
Fight your natural inclination.
If this is your introduction to straight chilling, good luck.
You don't know what is happening. If your introduction is Freddy versus Jason, then you
never know,
I think you know what you're getting.
You might already be drunk as I am, if that's the case.
Maybe. If you're lucky. Yeah, The Black Phone 2, that's available on Patreon right now. Check it out if you want to hear my thoughts. Some good, some bad. Pretty mixed overall. I'll go ahead and spoil it a little bit. The next minicast we have dropping is going to be on Friday, November 28th. Again, that's going to be your boy me talking about Shelby Oaks. Finally.
Whoa.
Shelby Oaks.
Oh, my.
And I forgot to tell you, boys, so I'll do it live here on air so everybody gets to see the little behind the scenes. I did a mini cast on Predator: The Badlands. I just haven't sent it to you yet, Bob.
Wow, the sneakest preview. The sneakiest preview there ever was.
Wow. Who knew?
So there you go. So eventually, sometime down the line, you'll be getting Predator: Badlands.
I'd wager to
eventually
say
Bob will pitch in and actually make a recording of his own.
Eventually, if you're
outsourcing
lucky.
everything to China.
Your boy, me Bob.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, that's what we got going over on Patreon right now. I don't have really any plugs. Do you guys have anything you need to mention?
You know,
I never
think
do,
my
so
house is clean this week, honestly.
Let's clean this bish.
Squeaky.
His house is clean.
All right, let's get into the main event. We are talking Freddy versus Jason, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Whoa, Bob, I saw you had this box. Approved purchase right there. Soju approved.
The VHS.
Oh, that's the VHS.
Whoa.
Who do you think you are?
The VHS.
You 10 years ago?
Look at that. Look at
15
that.
years ago?
Look at
20 years
that.
ago? I don't know.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Man, that's the bluest cover.
It's pretty blue.
So blue. Oh, my
It's so
God.
blue.
It's pretty blue. So, Freddy vs. Jason from 2003, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 37 minutes. This is on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. Not on 4K yet, but I feel like any day now that's probably going to happen.
Probably after this drops and blows it up, you know?
That happens. Like,
People are going to finally discover this hidden gem.
it happens because like we're very influential, though. It's not a
Of
coincidence.
course. You know, we're a bit of influencers.
We're tastemakers. We make the tastes.
Yeah,
and
we're
people
all of a
taste
sudden making Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees popular.
At this
They're
point,
gonna
we
be
have
household names
influenced
after we're done with it.
an entire generation to watch horror and to think about it deeply, you know?
People are going to like hold Jason and Freddy in the same regard as names like Jystein. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's going to be way up there.
Unforgettable names here.
Unforgettable and iconic names. Truly.
Jystein, the soju, the man.
Yeah. The Soju, the man.
The soju, the man. I don't even know
The
who
extra
you
the
are.
is what lets you know it's good quality.
I don't know who you
I
are.
wear multiple faces, you know?
Sounds
Let's not
horrific
dig into
to
that
me.
any further.
Yeah.
I think that we understood that perfectly.
This movie was directed by Ronnie Yu. This was based on characters from Victor Miller, Wes Craven, etc., etc. Stars Robert Englund, Ken Kersinger, Monica Keena, Catherine Isabel, Kelly Rowland, Brendan Fletcher. Some other lovely folks. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees return to terrorize the teenagers of Elm Street. Only this time, they're out to get each other too. Gentlemen's, have you seen this movie before? And would you recommend the folks at home check it out? Randy, kick us off.
Yes, I have. I do believe that I saw this in theaters with you and our friend Mike. I believe I was late, and I walked in at the very first Yabo shot of the film.
Which is only like 2 minutes in, really. It's like...
Yeah, it's very, very quickly, and so it wasn't like... It was the
Yeah, that's
preamble,
the
basically.
first shot of the film, yeah.
And it might be the last Yabo shot, too. I'm not 100% sure on that. But,
No, it's not.
yeah, I have seen it several times. I was quite a fan. If you had asked me after seeing it that night when I was whatever age, 14 or whatever the fuck it was, too young, I would have said, yeah, everybody should watch this who likes horror. Now I'll say everybody who likes horror and is a completionist should probably watch this. Otherwise, you know, watch it or don't.
All right, Juice, what about you?
Yeah, I remember seeing this in theaters too, and I'll go ahead and say this is one that I did sneak into. And you know who was in that movie theater? I had this crazy memory. This is so weird. I won't say his name, but he's our boy who always wonders about cars starting to fly, dog.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I know. I have that very distinct memory because he was a couple years older than us. but he went to my church or whatever. That's how I knew him.
I'm gonna have to ask you more about that later.
Yeah. So he was there, and yeah, I remember sneaking into this movie. I've seen it many times. I don't know how many times I've seen it, and this is what we like to call in the industry elevated cinema. This is really
pure cinema.
Something really special here. But no, this is the definition of like a guilty pleasure for me. I mean, it pretty much delivers exactly. If you see the title Freddy vs. Jason, you think that sounds like a good time, it's going to be a good time. If you see that title and think that sounds like utter dog shit, it's going to be utter dog shit.
It's a Rorschach test of your personality.
It really is. It really is. So, not a strong across the board recommend, but if you're looking for a good time where just two classic horror, killers go at it, then yeah, definitely check it out. Bob, how about you?
Definitely seen this before in the theater. This might actually be the first Friday the 13th or Nightmare movie I ever saw in the theater.
Oh, in the theater.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the theater.
This is kind of like the perfect prime time release for our particular age bracket to have seen.
Y'all were young.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was
younger, apparently,
young.
according to the
very,
bit.
Very young.
According to the bit. Yeah,
you were
just
I had
in
to
utero,
sneak
I
in
think.
at just like 5 years old.
Is the person who likes cars that fly your mother who had you in utero at the moment?
we were definitely not like of age to see this when it came out,
No.
but like old enough to
Perfect
sneak in
age to sneak it.
Old
yeah.
enough is not a phrase I want to be uttering.
Old
on
enough
these.
to watch a movie is what I'm talking.
Okay.
And yeah,
What
like
did you say, Bob?
I don't really know that I loved it when I was a teenager, and I don't really love it now, honestly. So it's fine for what it is. I think it could have been much worse. But it doesn't really give me what I love from either of the franchise necessarily.
Really?
And I don't know that it could.
Here's a guy who forgot his nostalgia glasses. Today.
I don't know. It doesn't really hit for me. It's a loose recommend for me. Like,
oh no, Bob.
you probably already know if it's for you or if it's not for you. So
I'm loose.
I'm loose. That sounds like a loose recommend.
I think so.
It's about as loose as you can get.
Yeah. Without just completely plummeting out the bottom. That's about as loose as
It's pretty loose. That's a loose one. It's a loosey goosey. It's a juicy loosey.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a juicy loosey goosey. Check it out if you want to.
Keep my name out of your mouth.
It's my boy Jystein. I don't believe I said that.
Jystein Lucy.
The man, the juice, the soju. Yeah, check it out. We're going to be spoiling the shit out of Freddy vs. Jason, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Whoa, Bob, do you have this very important plot synopsis?
It's important, and that's why I have it.
Okay, good. Please.
Plop it on us, Big Diddy.
I'm here for
Remind
you.
us
I'm here for
of
you.
this elevated horror.
There's a lot of nuance to this, so Bob, I'm gonna need you to break it down. Past the dialogue and get right into the thick of it and tell us what is happening in this.
Explain
movie.
those similes to me.
The
I really
themes.
need to.
Those metaphors.
Cinema similes coming at you. Here we go. Here's the plot synopsis from Freddy vs. Jason. Your boy, Freddy Krueger, he's been trapped in hell since his last defeat. The parents of Springwood have wiped all records of him, and anyone who does remember Freddy has been admitted to a psychiatric hospital and given the dream suppressant Hypnosil.
Ain't that just the way?
Ain't that?
It is.
Being
It's
forgotten.
hard.
That's a bitch.
As we're told.
Being unable to invade children's dreams, Freddy uses his powers to appear to Jason Voorhees as his mother and resurrect him. He also manipulates him into carrying out a massacre on Elm Street, allowing Freddy to regain his powers. Jason murders a couple kids at a sleepover, and Shaboys Will and Mark, who are patients at Weston Hill due to a previous contact with Freddy, see a news story about the killings and decide they must escape to go warn Lori, who is Will's ex-girlfriend. That night, Lori and her friends attend a rave in a cornfield. Freddy tries to kill a young girl named Gib in a nightmare, but Jason kills her in the real world first and goes on a bloody rampage. Showboy Freddy Krueger is very angered as he realizes Jason is going to end up denying him several victims. The friends escape along with Charlie and Bill. Will ends up telling Lori that he saw her father kill her mother, and her father had him committed to the hospital to keep him quiet. Mark then gets killed by Freddy. Deputy Scott helps the teams try to break into the hospital and steal some Hypnosil so they can suppress their dreams. But Freddy possesses Bill, and he ends up dumping a bunch of medicine down the drain. Jason kills Stubbs and Bill right before he is tranquilized. The teens plan to pull Freddy into the real world and make him fight Jason. They take the unconscious...
Bill? I'm sorry.
Bill?
You're talking about Jason Mewes lookalike, right?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Just let me finish. It doesn't matter. Their names do not fucking matter.
Yeah.
To be clear.
That is true.
Yeah, they want to make him fight. They take the unconscious Jason to Camp Crystal Lake. Freddy realizes Jason has a fear.
His name is Will.
Bill, it doesn't matter.
It's his name.
That's a different guy. But okay, yeah, sure.
It's pretty close. They end up fighting in Jason's dreamscape. Freddy ends up realizing that Jason has a fear of drowning. Lori goes to sleep with the intention of trying to pull Freddy out, and it's revealed that Freddy indeed killed her mother, not her father. Jason wakes up and chases the kids throughout the camp. Lori wakes up and pulls Freddy into the real world. They fight. Charlie's killed. Kia sacrifices herself, allowing Will and Lori to escape. Freddy gains the upper hand, and Lori distracts him, allowing Jason to rip off Freddy's glove hand. Lori and Will set the dock on fire, causing an explosion that throws Freddy and Jason into the lake. Freddy climbs out, but is impaled by Jason with his glove arm, allowing Lori to behead him with Jason's machete. Jason, Freddy's head, and his body all sink into the lake. The next morning, we see Jason emerge holding his machete in Freddy's head, and the head winks towards the camera, leaving the, quote, winner sort of ambiguous, I guess, but also leaving it open for a sequel that we never get. Roll them credits.
Oh
man.
We need a reboot sequel.
Do we need
Sure.
that? No, we don't need
That's
that.
what we need.
We don't need that. We don't.
I need it. Freddy versus Jason versus
Freddy versus Jason.
the Lighthouse.
Versus the Lighthouse. Oh, shit.
Ya thoughts.
Willem Dafoe enters the fray.
Versus Willem Dafoe's mind-bogglingly huge penis. That's
Well,
Let's see how Jason Voorhees does while trapped on an island for 6 months with Willem Dafoe's massive hog.
he'd do quite well, I think. This movie is like dumb as fuck, but like appropriately dumb, right? Like there's no way this needs to be
like
taken
it's perfectly
seriously.
dumb.
Yeah.
I really I mean, having seen all the
it's
Friday the
dumber than
13th. Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
That's the argument to be had, maybe.
I think it's
but
appropriately
it is dumb.
stupid.
We can all
I
agree.
think it's appropriately dumb because I don't want them to take this too seriously.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, I think they deliver on it.
No, I don't disagree that it delivers on dumb. It definitely delivers on dumb. I think the thing I noticed this time around, and I have seen this movie like you have many times at this point. I must have seen this like 6 times, maybe.
Yeah.
In my life, like more than most movies, more than most movies, and that's in either series probably.
God damn.
And I don't know why. Because the nostalgia factor really gets me. But the thing that got me in this one was like the child murder and the rape. And like the really dark aspects are actually really present here in a way that they aren't as explicit in other movies, and that kind of takes away from the silliness. If they're gonna go silly, like for all its faults, for me not even liking it that much, Jason X knew it was silly, did not go dark at all. Like no darkness in that movie whatsoever. And this one kind of dragged me down in a couple spots this time around, looking at it slightly critically as for the first time.
I think that is one thing that we kind of brought up, especially when we cover the first Nightmare where we were in our minds thinking like, oh, isn't he supposed to be a pedophile or isn't he? And we were like,
Right.
oh, it's not as
Very
explicit.
for a lot of
that
years,
he
and in
was.
this one, it is about as
Yeah,
in
I
your
guess
face as it gets.
that opening shot with that like really, really little girl where she's like scared in the boiler room, but it's a very quick scene, to be fair.
I mean, but it's not. I mean, the quickness doesn't eliminate it for me.
Yeah. I don't even think about it too much because I
and
guess
it's
in
not
my
just
mind,
that,
I guess the
too.
difference is I kind of already assume that he is, like we said, like it's just kind of in my mind that that's what he is already.
And that's, I think, how they would justify it. That is an argument to justify it, that it's like it's a known quantity for him to where they don't need to be subtle about it. But they aren't just not subtle about it. They're very explicit about it for a brief amount of time there. But that's not the only thing. Like there's also with what's her name? Catherine Isabel, like her character in the cornfield is essentially like sexually assaulted while passed out drunk.
She's passed out. Yeah, it's
Like-
kind of fucked
like
up.
it's very fucked up. Like, and there's a few moments like that through here. I don't think that's all of them, but I can't remember the
Yeah,
others.
there's another one
where I was like,
Freddy's,
oh, I
trying
don't know.
to-
I don't feel good laughing about this or being jocular about this.
Freddy's like trying to make out with Lori in one of her dreams, I think.
Oh
in
yeah,
kind of a
her
gross
dad
way.
as her dad.
That's
There's a
true,
couple
yeah.
moments.
And that's not the first time he's done that, but it's the first time that he's done that in a movie where he's explicitly a cartoon character.
Yeah.
The scene with Catherine Isabel passed out in the cornfield was the one that really stood out to
That's
me.
probably the one. Yeah, that's the most
very
like
fucked.
ick,
Which makes
yeah.
it less fun. Yeah, it's like very slapstick, goofy, stupid.
It comes out of nowhere too. That's the one that, like, of all things, like Freddy Krueger is a pedophile in the canon of the universe, but Glowstick guy is not a non-entity. He doesn't need to be in this movie. There doesn't need to be a sexual assault in the middle of this fucking movie. It just is.
Yeah, there's like.
But to be fair, they were like immediately like he gets
come up,
comeuppance.
and he also doesn't like. There's nothing like that goes beyond like molestation, which is not a sentence that I like saying out loud. So, I don't know. It doesn't.
Way to
hit
be a
right.
downer, Randy.
It's a little bit of a bummer. There's
You wanted to have fun.
We'll lead with
today.
negative, but there's some positives in here. Let's be clear.
There are some positives here for sure. I think probably the best thing this movie does for me is like it takes these two very separate, very popular franchises and finds a fairly simple and effective way to weave them together. Where like, you know, you get a bit of an info dump up front from Freddy Krueger himself.
A bit?
It explains it. I mean, it's 10 minutes maybe. I don't know. It's long as it needs
it's
to
a
be.
direct narration.
It is.
And
Right.
a recap of previous kills.
It is, but I don't think they overthink it, and I don't think they overcomplicate it. Like it's as complicated as I guess it has to be, but like I think they made a pretty decent choice, and like why these two actually end
agree.
up in one movie together.
Not only that, but I think that they, you know, another thing where it's just kind of there, but I don't think it's ever really like so just plainly stated as much in this film against, you know, the water and the fire thing. I mean, I think they do well enough to make some sense out of this and like put it in a way that is simplistic enough, but at the same time, you're like, oh yeah, I mean, that works pretty well for what these characters are, you know?
I agree. Like the thing is, like it's just they don't overcomplicate. The thing is, they're starting with two franchises that have, at this point, like we've reached Jason X, we've reached New Nightmare.
Yeah.
They have gone way off the reservation. They've done all kinds of shit. People know their core entity is, but it's very fluid, and people also understand implicitly that the rules are flexible. So they just remorph the rules. They don't worry too hard about explaining who these characters are or the timeline or any of that shit that we overanalyze these days. Like, I think that that's all well and good. To me, it's like, it's comparable to two things come up when I think about the way that they've written this. It's like the justification for them fighting. It's like they made Freddy and Jason into Magic the Gathering cards with specific attributes and specific weaknesses and specific whatever mana, and then they yeah, exactly, yeah, totally, and then they like wrote a story that's on the level of like an early Mortal Kombat. Like that's what this is. And as long, like, the thing is, it's an excuse to get them in the room together, and it's an excuse to get them to kill people and then fight each other, and it does all of that really well. And the way that we know that it does that really well is that this movie is only concerned with moving fucking things along, blistering pace to the next kill in this movie.
Yeah, but that's kind of what you want, you know.
No, I'm saying that's a good thing. That's a positive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, surprisingly, though, I do think it's well balanced, because I was thinking, you know, I know that there was the possibility, or it's in the comics later, it was considered to that Ash would potentially be involved in this in development or whatever. But I was thinking about this. You couldn't have Michael Myers in here, even though the Halloween franchise also at this point had gone in some terrible places in the same way. It just wouldn't fit or match. And I think the blend of these characters is pretty perfect. And Ash also would have fit in this too, as well, I think. But yeah, I think it's people kind of developing this, knowing exactly what it needs to be, what it should be, and, you know, really developing those things out in a reasonable way. Like, I really don't know how you could, the thing about this is, I don't know how you could really make this much better. You know,
I can tell you how.
I was saying, yeah, I got
There's some ways.
of suggestions.
Okay, all right.
I do.
Bob, you go.
Before we move on from Justin, your point of like Michael Myers not being able to really be included in this, I agree generally with that point, but they do kind of have a nod to the Halloween franchise through the virginal Laurie character in this, which it is what
her
it
name
is.
is Laurie.
Yeah, I don't know
I
that
didn't
really.
even think about that, to be honest.
I don't think it really matters.
There's a lot of
much,
like oblique references, but not usually to outside properties. I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like references to Freddy or Jason properties.
There's some things I think they could have improved upon in this. I think the first and foremost for me, there's only like one or two kill sequences that really stand out. I kind of wish there were more kill set pieces. It felt a little light overall for me. The bed crush is probably the biggest one, and that was really early on.
Individual kills that aren't just like stabbings or whatever. I don't know, but like they do take some big swings too. Like the fucking Jason Mewes character, whose name is according to IMDb, his name was Freeberg.
Oh,
which is what I remember.
Yeah.
So like I only see that character as like a stand-in for Jason Mewes, Jay and Silent Bob's Jason Mewes, because that's basically who the character is.
Yeah, the stoner.
But like they take a big
character,
swing by having like a CGI fucking
slug thing?
whatever, like like a fucking Alice in Wonderland inspired hookah smoking Freddy Krueger caterpillar that then infects him or what, I don't know. Like that was a big swing that I didn't like even then. Like even when I first saw this movie, I was like, this sucks.
Looks like dog shit.
Yeah. A lot of the effects too. So that's one. Those are two things actually: the effects, and then like the level of individual kills in terms of concept, I think can be improved. The one thing I want to point out, which is kind of like a little unfair because it's true of a lot of these movies, but the fucking dialogue in this is the most expository dialogue of maybe any fucking Freddy or Jason movie. Like it's so
we got to go to the
painful.
library and look at the microfiche and do our own research so that we can.
And then suddenly show up in a shaggin' wagon for no reason. Like,
that
what
van
the fuck is
fucking
this editing?
rules, though. Like it's pretty sick.
Okay, but
a
lot of things rule. It doesn't necessarily mean you can just hard cut to it and
it doesn't
be
make sense.
Making sense.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But the van
I don't know.
fucks.
So those are a couple of things that I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, okay. I mean, definitely when I say like it can't be improved, yeah, okay, you could definitely make better dialogue in this. But I guess what I mean is just, I don't know if this type of film had really heavy dialogue or really well acted, I don't know if it would feel like it fits.
I think it does have heavy dialogue, overly heavy dialogue.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of quantity, and they do try to make some, like there are some dark moments where that one dude's brother or whatever who committed suicide or whatever, like he's in the there's like dark moments or whatever, but But I don't know. I just like, it's kind of part of the fun for me for this to be so kind of
silly,
stupid.
Yeah.
The stupidness.
I agree.
Go ahead,
Like
Bob.
I want more moments like that first kill personally, or like you've got like
The
these
first kill, you're talking about the bed?
the bed crush. Yeah, where you've got
The world-
these
yeah.
these like shitty teens and like they have sex and the dude's like, babe, you know I don't like being touched after, and she's like, fine, I'm gonna go shower, and then he gets fucking murdered in this
Crushed,
really brutal,
yeah.
like memorable way.
Definition of Cooter. By
There's
the way.
there's that one kill where Jason like twists that dude's head literally around. It's a cartoon.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
so
It is cartoon. That's the thing I do want to point out is like the thing that makes it work at all is that it operates on a Hundreds of Beavers level of like live action cartoon on at least in regards to Freddy and Jason. Certainly with Freddy. Freddy is like he has to be the mouthpiece for both of our iconic characters in this, so he does a lot of heavy lifting here in terms of like motivations and things like that. So like we get a lot of him, and he's not like individually scary or anything. He's instead fucking, it's like Wile E. Coyote versus Wile E. Coyote. It's so Looney Tunes. When he gets pulled into the real world by Monica Keena or whatever, Monica Keena, Lori. And she's like all of a sudden he hears like the table move or whatever because Jason comes free and he's right behind him. He goes and he gives this like appalled, giant-eyed, oh no, look. It is the most cartoonish shit that Robert Englund has fucking ever done.
That's a good moment. I immediately after that, where like you finally get to see Jason whoop this shit out of him, like and drag him through every single window in the building, and then throw his ass across the whole fucking camp.
Because this is after also cartoonish the dream sequence with Jason where he gets fucking like pinballed around the room, quite literally.
Literally pinball with the fucking sound.
I don't like that. It's like too silly for me.
I guess I can understand that, but I kind of like it.
I like it because I don't know.
I don't like the line tilt because that seemed like
wink.
That seemed like a bridge too far for me. I have limits.
No, you.
But I don't. I think I don't know. It's cool. So kind of going back to some of the kills, I do the thing that the poll of this. I think that the cornfield scene is generally pretty cool. And I like, it's not necessarily, this is probably something they should have tried to do a little bit more, but it's cool to see Jason in this setting. You could have a cornfield near Crystal Lake if you wanted to, but I mean, like his flaming sword flying through the air, like that's a cool kill, and he's on fire, and he's not doing anything necessarily crazy, but him like hacking up a bunch of teens while he's on fire, while the cornfield is on fire behind him, like that's really cool. And having, a lot of things we say, it's kind of like merging these things where we talk about Jason usually has these like really brutal kind of kills, and I think that highlights his kills really well. And Freddy usually has these really obscure kind of kills sometimes because of the dream logic and stuff. So to put the Jason moment in the dream logic world and him be flying around, it looks stupid. It looks very stupid.
But it's clearly meant for comedic purpose. It's
totally.
It's that to me, in the same way that the cornfield scene is kind of badass in the way that Jason is represented generally in his films as badass in that way. I feel like the pinball scene is kind of Freddy being goofy the way that Freddy is presented as goofy like, in that
Freddy
same way.
Freddy is generally kind of a Bugs Bunny at this point in the franchise. So it's literally Jason versus Bugs Bunny a little bit.
It makes
sense. And so what would happen in that situation? It would be fucking stupid.
Well, even remember the first, when we cover the first Nightmare, and he's got those like long arms and he's running. It looks
it's a little goofy.
Yeah, I think that there's always this goofy element
where he's just like, hey,
Freddy.
check this out. And he just starts cutting fingers off. Like, huh? How's that? Check this out. Huh?
It makes sense. It's just a little too goofy for me personally.
Yeah,
and I
I
also,
get it.
more so than that, I really didn't like when he's like, he takes Jason and like strips him down to like his child form with no mask on. He's just balled up and crying. I was like,
I like that.
I don't know.
I like that
it's it makes
'Cause if
sense, but then it
It's
just makes
the one weakness he can have. Like Jason's
This is
hulking
Freddy getting
zombie
one
man.
over.
Well,
yeah.
Like he's fat, he
That's-
narrows in on a weakness or two and just fucking leans in. That's what he
that's
does.
well,
good.
when you're
you
in
have to give him his superpower.
When you're in Freddy's like playground, clearly he can pinball you to death or what. Like you can do whatever you want. I just didn't like that they made him that weak looking when he's supposed to be like, at least just keep him looking like Jason.
Look, I'll tell you
if
this.
anything.
Yeah, I
The
liked
only
it.
reason that was able to happen is because of the lore they set up about the fire and the water, which is kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
to think about, like,
Yeah.
oh, one got killed by water, one got killed by fire.
Yeah.
Let's make a thing out of that. The movie says that
I
outright.
mean, they do eventually like
But-
encircle him with water and like he's afraid to move. They could have just done that.
Well, that's the thing is like, but that's not a thing that existed before this movie.
That
That's a
is
thing
true,
that they
yeah.
made for this movie. If that didn't exist, then he doesn't find a weakness. He doesn't get a chance to
Yeah,
infantilize
It-
Jason. So
it also,
I don't know.
like,
I don't.
doesn't matter during the climax where they're just all in the water. Like he doesn't really seem to fucking be bothered.
And
by
they're
it
both
at
on
all.
fire and then get
And in the
blasted
water,
into
yeah.
the water.
Yeah,
Then they're just fucking fine. Yeah. So whatever.
They just, you know what? This is a movie about Jason and Freddy overcoming their demons and becoming
go.
greater demons in and of themselves.
Apparently, I will say I like how this movie starts. It starts off like so fucking cheesy, and you're like, I don't know, man. Maybe this is like a little too cheesy. But then you find out that it's like in Jason Voorhees's
Jason's dream
nightmare or
sequence.
like in hell because he's a corpse. So I don't know if he can really have nightmares. But like it's
Yeah,
not real.
That's his hell.
Yeah, it's like it's like the stereotypical Friday the 13th movie because it's like not
Jason
real.
X did that same trick,
It
kind
did.
of, but this
It
one does
did.
it better,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I like-
that one was like very much a quick joke. This made the joke into a set piece and into
it makes
a
sense.
catalyst,
Yeah.
essentially.
I really like that beginning. I thought that worked
Yeah.
really well.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So yeah,
You said something earlier. I'm sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
I would say that final fight sequence. How did that strike
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Like at Camp Crystal
Yeah,
Lake.
that's
I think it's
that's
fun.
the thing. At this point, too, with this movie, I've seen it so many times. I kind of know. I treat it like I do this with some Marvel movies, like Civil War. Let's say Civil War. Sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I'm just kind of in the mood to see Spider-Man fight Captain America a little bit. Let me just go to this airport scene. You know, like
skip an hour into it.
So
Yeah,
with this, it's
totally.
so easy to be like, okay, let's go to the cornfield and
It's
let's
the
go.
tentpole.
And so the last 30 minutes
The
of
cornfield
this,
and the big fight at the end are the
Yeah.
tentpoles of this movie, and they're the things
Yeah.
that people remember best about it because they're the best parts of it.
Yeah.
By design, it is all to prop everything else up.
exactly. Yeah, and that's how I kind of treat it mostly now. But yeah, the big fight scene at the end is a lot of fun to have. You know, him. There's when he's launching those gas tubes or whatever. Like
The
that's
air tanks,
cool. Yeah, the air tanks.
Man, the
Missile
torpedoes
blasted. And, like, I love that whole scene. I love that whole fight sequence. The torpedoes are like an iconic moment. Honestly, like genuinely, like one of the things I think of first when I think of this movie. I love it. But then he gets blasted, and there's like just I don't know what that area is. What part of Camp Crystal Lake involves?
I
this
assume they're like
concrete
building
factory?
condos on the lake or something because the camp has been shut down.
Okay, so you've assumed more than I've deduced, I guess, because I was like, what the fuck is this for?
Yeah, it's
Especially
like a
this time when I'm like
major
really trying to be critical.
construction zone.
I guess, but like for what? All the other buildings are still there. The dock is
Yeah.
like everything is still there. They're just like there's just this construction zone like in the middle of it. And
Yeah.
it's very strange. I don't know. That's a logical fallacy. And in this movie, logical fallacies are null and void, basically. So,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They need things to fight with, so there are things there. You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's just kind of what it is.
But well, like the thing is, the gas tanks make sense to have.
They do.
Lakeside.
Yeah.
They make perfect sense to have lakeside. Maybe not that many, but sure. People go scuba diving. You could say that this is a scuba diving summer camp or whatever.
Or
at
to
one
fill
point,
up
and
rafts or something.
anything. Like there's a million reasons to have, not a million. There's enough reasons to have them there.
There's one
but
or
like
two
the concrete
reasons.
mixer, like whatever crane thing, like the gravel lifter, like
Yeah.
what the fuck is that for? Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think about
They're
it.
building the thing.
Not thinking about it is the right move, and I'm not advocating for anything else. But I just have to say.
I like overall, like Jason's finally whooping the shit out of Freddy, and then he cuts his fingers off and he just can no longer hold his machete. Thought that was a great moment. And then he ends up just like stabbing him in the side and ripping Freddy's gloved arm completely off. Like all that stuff really works. The construction zone stuff is like goofy or whatever, but like when it starts to wind down, I thought that really worked on the dock.
No, but it's fun. Like it's fun the whole time, and then they explode into the goddamn water, and then the scenes that you're talking about happen. And like the thing is, what this movie does is it refuses to give leverage to one over the other. Like this is very much like for both purists. Like if you're a Freddy purist, you're gonna have a good time with this movie. You say that he won. If you're a Jason purist, you can say that he won. And like both get their moments, both get the same level of like everything they do, including like using each other's weapons on each other. They get to do that. Like everything is tit for tat in this movie.
It's like wrestling, honestly. It's like wrestling.
It's totally like wrestling. That's a great call.
Randy has clocked in.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
I mean, but that's what it feels like. It feels like I mean, this is not correct, but like a cage match or something. You know, it's something where you get your familiar characters. They're in this like particular setting, and it's fun to watch them just go head to head. I mean, I feel like they deliver on that, which is what you, like I said, when you see this title, Freddy vs. Jason, and again, as we said, before the film that came before this was Jason X, for God's sakes. I mean, at this point, I think when me and Bob did a whole Friday the 13th breakdown, I was like, Freddy vs. Jason is somewhere in the middle for me because there's much worse films that do much worse things. So at this point in both franchises, it's just fun to see these characters not have to have such deep lore surrounding them or not necessarily have to carry their own movies. And the fact that they're going to meet and fight each other is all you need, You know
what?
Yeah.
I agree. And like, I think about this movie and like Halloween Resurrection in terms of like sequels that become batshit and stupid. That one, like, I think fails on a lot of categories that this one lives up to because it gets the excuse of blending two worlds. I think that it gets like a lot of leeway from me for that, where it's like, it's almost like a what if story in comic books. Like it does not need to have canonical reverence or relevance either. Like
which
neither
most
of those
sequels
things
don't need anyways.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's
True.
the thing is it escapes
true, but
that
like
trap.
when a sequel in a direct sequel to like Curse of the Curse of Thorn Curse of what is it Halloween 6 what is that movie?
Curse of Michael Myers.
Curse of Michael Myers, thank you. Curse of Michael Myers, Jason X, fucking like these movies that like just try and fail, and Resurrection, they try and like they take the lore of the original and they like turn it into like a cartoonish farce. I don't think that necessarily on its own works as easily as doing it with this excuse in the mix. The excuse of like, yeah, but we're combining things. Who gives a shit, right? This is not going to matter. Like neither of these stories actually exist in the same world. They exist in the same world for the purposes of having these two motherfuckers stab each other with the same weapon that they kill other people with. That's it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it for that.
Yeah, it delivers on the premise, and it's just as smart as it needs to be, and it's just as stupid as it needs to be. It's got a bunch of goofy one-liners.
It's stupider than it needs to be.
It's got Kelly Rowland in it, which I apparently like during the early 2000s that was kind of a thing to have like a pop star or like a really popular rap artist in your horror movie. So Kelly Rowland pops up in here, which is kind of interesting. Catherine Isabel, who's in the genre, probably most famously known for her role in Ginger Snaps,
and kind of doing what's her name? fuck, I can't remember the actress's name, but the girl with the ball cap, like the ball cap thing is, I think, a reference to Carrie in my mind.
PJ Souls.
PJ Souls, thank you.
I don't know her character.
Yes, that's yeah. Like, I don't know, like, and like that. I think that's like, there's a lot of little things like that I think are relevant to the horror fans, specifically the slasher fans in the room.
Yeah, you got the Hypnosil in here, which is like a hard reference to Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, which is beloved, by the fans. So that's kind of a nice little inclusion there.
You found your dream power, man.
Mine. And then even, I mean, to just the whole fight scene in general, I mean, we talked about the air tubes and stuff like that, but in the very beginning, talking about wrestling, Freddy is literally like fucking dropping elbows.
Yeah,
dude,
he's like
1,000% wrestling.
Yeah,
that's the best
really
correlation you can make to this. It's better than whatever I said earlier. Like, yeah, it's like Mortal Kombat. That's what wrestling is. It's melodrama that is not scary and not. It's just like, oh, I hope this guy punches my favorite, doesn't punch my favorite guy, and my favorite guy punches the other guy harder. I'm like, what? That's what it is.
Like, would it have been so bizarre for them to have like a Stone Cold Steve Austin cameo in the, because during the day, like in the early 2000s, it was extremely popular. So clearly they were.
He was Santa Claus.
I think that might have been a little bit. That was Bill Goldberg.
Oh
yeah.
They
could have him show up during one of the dream sequences or something. I'm sure that was taken into consideration though. Specifically, like you were saying, Juice, like he is dropping fucking the people's elbow and shit. Like he really is. So.
And if you don't think that if they could make it make sense to have a fucking one wrestler pinball another one around the ring, that they would do it, they of course would fucking do that. Of course that would have been done. It's just that they have the excuse, like it's all heightened reality stuff, but they get to go to much higher heights because they've got a fucking dream demon and an unkillable man here.
It's the same dynamic too of, as you said before, it's a good balance because what this movie does is it gives you really fun Jason moments. We get the cornfield. It gives you really good, fun Freddy moments, especially too, not just with Jason, but like in the dream sequences and stuff like that. And then they have their showdown and each one gets their time to shine, just like wrestling. For a solid 2 minutes, Jason gets his ass whooped. And then for a solid 2 minutes, Freddy gets his ass whooped. Yeah.
He stomps his foot real hard while holding the turnbuckle, and then the crowd goes.
Randy just did the swirl to his ear, just so you know. But this is a podcast, so people can't see that.
Well, there's a behind the scenes. So.
There is a behind the scenes. So, but anyway, yeah. I mean, it really is just that dynamic, but that formula works for a reason, and that's why I said. If it's in the same way, it's if you hear two wrestlers' names are going to face off and you think that idea is exciting, then you're going to have a good time when you watch it. If you think that sounds absolutely stupid or you don't care anything about those wrestlers' names, it means absolutely nothing to you. So that's kind of what this film is. That's why I said in my recommendation, it's like, if you know the characters of Freddy and Jason and you think it is an entertaining concept that they would show down together, then this movie delivers that concept perfectly well. Yeah. Otherwise, not worth anything.
That's completely fair, I think. I will say this, though. Like, I've watched wrestling matches with characters I don't know and enjoyed myself.
Sure.
There is something to be said about like something that you go in with the expectation of it being silly and over the top and it delivering or not delivering. So there is an opportunity for bringing in people that otherwise are not familiar. Like, let's be like total honesty on that. Like, Bob, I gave you, like, you had seen quite a bit of these films by the time you watched this in theaters. Is that right?
I don't remember exactly how many I've seen. I definitely had at least seen the originals. I don't know if I'd seen a bunch of sequels or anything like that.
Okay.
So
I don't know that I had seen both of the. I don't think I saw Nightmare on Elm Street by this point. By the time I saw Freddy vs. Jason,
either, honestly.
So, like, to me, I kind of was coming in a little bit blind. There was a little bit blindness. I had cultural awareness of these characters, and it's hard not to. So maybe there's that. Maybe that's the difference. But like, I do think that there's something to be said about having characters that shine on screen in the moment. You know what I mean? And I think that for the most part, there are at least a couple of moments for each of these characters where they shine in this movie. Here's my critique. I think that Jason is given a little bit of a pass to be the good guy here. Like, if you take the lore at all seriously, which is a mistake, he's kind of the good guy in this story. Like, he's manipulated. He is then like punished by for doing what he was basically manipulated into doing, and then he ultimately is used. He's just used the whole movie basically, and it belittled. I don't know. Even fucking like even Monica Keena, the lead actress, wants Freddy to die because he killed her mother. Jason has nothing to do with that.
He's a pawn in the game.
He is like, if there's one singular evil in this movie, if you're going to say there's one evil in this movie, it is Freddy and not Jason.
I think it's easier to do that though, because, you know, Jason doesn't speak. Yeah.
I don't know that you can avoid it, and that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, because because he's just like a killing machine.
And also,
that's
too,
his character.
even in his own films, these are things that they've already kind of established and they're leaning into, like, oh, he was a child when this happened, and I don't know, they have treated him sympathetically before in the past, and like his mother's dead or whatever. I mean,
I don't think they treat him anything but sympathetically in this movie towards the end.
I don't think that they like
towards the beginning. He's kind of the red herring for a while. For a while, it's like, no, don't worry about the dream guy. Fuck that guy. What we should worry about is the real guy, the guy with the machete. That's the guy we should worry about. The hockey mask. He's pissed about something, and then later on, all those characters get killed by fucking Freddy for the most part, and then Freddy is ultimately the one that needs to be seen dying by our lead character. I just feel like there's a little bit more importance put on comeuppance towards Freddy than versus Jason, and I think Jason is used as a tool both by Freddy and by Monica Keena and the Teenage Rebellion. Yeah. As a unit to get revenge on somebody, or to a means to an end in some way.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree, but I don't care at all.
No, and that's fair. And I'd say a complete disclaimer: you probably shouldn't care, but I'm analyzing.
That's fair. That's what we're doing. That's what we're here to do. Discuss.
That's what we do.
That's what we're doing.
That's our specialty.
And they also like both survive in the end, anyways. Primarily so that they can make a sequel that they never did make, but. You know, they both technically come out on top, I guess.
Can we do speculative fiction on what the sequel would have looked like?
Sure.
A sequel?
Yeah.
Okay, we had kind of...
No, there was like 4,000 pieces of trivia, and I read like maybe 100 and grabbed 4 or 5.
Because they repeat themselves after a while.
Do you have the comic? Isn't there like a comic sequel?
Yes. So they did. Yeah, let me get to the trivia real quick. I do have a little. So, yeah, there was a sequel planned, never happened. Wildstorm ended up publishing a 6-issue comic series in late 2007, early 2008, which did add the Evil Dead's Ash Williams to the mix. So that does exist in comic book form if you want to read that. I really don't know anything more about like what the movie was supposed to have, the sequel was supposed to have, other than I guess the addition of Ash Williams, which would have been sick.
God, that would have been great.
I would have been.
I wish he was in this one, honestly, because there's nothing that these teenagers are doing that fucking Ash couldn't accomplish or be involved with.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that matters. Yes, that's a better way. That's a more succinct way.
They're all just red shirts, which is fine. They don't really need to be a whole lot more than that. But yeah, having Ash Williams, having two characters like that are known for their like ridiculous quips, like quipping at each other, would be so much fun to see, I think.
Well, and that's why I wanted, like, in my mind, the natural inclusion would have been, when I was a kid anyway, would have been Chucky, because like it's fucking Chucky. He's gonna be out there like talking, slinging some mad shit, and that's what's important, really, in a wrestling match. So I mean. But like I like on a logical level, there is not as much to say about how he could face off against these two characters. You could weave him into a story potentially, and that's essentially what you'd have to do with Ash Williams. It's just like find a way because he's not operating on a supernatural level himself outside of the Necronomicon or whatever else whatever else he can muster. But it's always a struggle to get to that.
Jason,
he's not inherently superhero.
Jason is essentially a Deadite via Jason Goes to Hell. So
that's true. But Pennywise could be a potentially good inclusion as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess my brain immediately went to the fucking rights issue of that. So
well, no, I know. I'm just saying
that. I guess.
Yes, I mean, but if we're just like pulling what kind of, because we said like Michael Myers would not work.
Pennywise would kind of shit out of
setting.
At least Jason.
Too powerful, I think.
Maybe.
He's an
but I mean, what else could you include? I mean, we had a Predator versus Alien.
Candyman, but the cadence of Candyman is terrible for this.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
So.
From a writing standpoint, that would be a fucking terrible choice.
Chucky and Ash definitely fit, and that's what I was saying. It's just like the vibe. I feel like Pennywise could fit the vibe.
Potentially, I don't know if he would fit. Exactly.
Art the Clown, man. Now they could do a kind of like I feel like they could do a modern version of this where Art was involved, not necessarily with Freddy and Jason, but if they had like some new verses, I feel like Art the Clown could.
Well, Art the Clown is already basically the fucking fusion dance of these two characters. Like,
yeah.
Kind of gets the best of both worlds. Supernatural, kind of glib, very like smiley and terrifying, but also silent and completely deadly.
Oh, we could have the grabber versus Freddy now because they're both essentially operating on the same level.
I guess I haven't seen that new movie, and I'm not interested to find out right now.
The grabber. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel Chucky, Ghostface, no.
Yeah, because it's just a real choice.
Yeah. John Kramer, no.
He's just an old ass man making tracks.
Leatherface, no.
Just a hillbilly,
with a chainsaw.
There's nobody else really.
Throwing Ash into the situation, I think, is the best
really
way
perfect.
to go.
That's the only
because that's a good talking about Randy saying like, "Oh, Jason is the good." Like that, didn't you have a good guy or whatever? You know,
just
right. That way Jason gets to be an evil guy too.
Yeah.
Like there doesn't need to be.
But then at the same time, what's Ash gonna do versus Jason? You know, I mean.
Use fucking the Necronomicon in some way.
Yeah, whatever he does with
battle
Deadites.
him. How does he fight other Deadites?
Yeah,
it's like
I guess that's true,
It's basically the same thing.
The thing is, like, he gets to bend the rules too. That's the other thing is, like, all these characters get to bend the rules between movies, so they're all kind of existing in whatever needs they have in the moment.
Yeah,
so it kind of works on that level too.
That would be sick. Bruce Campbell versus
that would have been good.
Jason.
Yeah, it's too bad they couldn't have pulled that off.
Fucking A.
Oh well.
I don't think we'll ever get it now, which it's fine.
Oh no, he's like pretty old now, right?
Yeah, I mean they all are.
Yeah, he's Robert Englund as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's never gonna happen for better or for worse. Any other major points you guys want to hit on before we rate this thing? No,
not a thing.
Let's do it. Out of 5, Juice, why don't you kick us off? How do you feel about Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, I like this film. I think it's a lot of fun. It's completely a guilty pleasure. And like I said, I would never try to convince anybody to watch this or that it's a better movie than it is, because it's not. It really is. And part of it is nostalgia too. We saw this at a young age and it kind of fit, all talking about sneaking into the theaters and that. I mean, it very much lives in that world of something like you're not supposed to watch. Never really seen anything like it before. It's got Yabos in it, so I mean, that plays into it as well. But just, watching it objectively again, I've seen it many times. It's a film, like I said, I could throw on and, skip around and have fun watching, a 10-minute scene and be done with it, just to kind of get my fill. It's almost just like a treat, Not a real meal. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they could have had some maybe more creative Freddy kills, and they probably could have had one or two more better scenes. We could have spent less time with the teens. They don't matter. And like, you know, I think there are more kills than we kind of initially thought, but some of them were really bad. Like Kelly's death has always been like, that's kind of bullshit. And it's just not creative either. Like, at least give her something cool to go out on. She just goes flying across the fucking
She just gets called dark meat.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. She does also drop a slur as well.
Yeah,
So. Sneaky Christmas, boys. Sneaky Christmas.
What?
The Christmas
Randy?
sweater line?
Christmas sweater, her line.
I don't think it counts. I don't think it counts.
You put it on whatever calendar you need to, buddy. Whatever helps you sleep.
Favors Jason, Sneaky Christmas.
Christmas
No,
Eve.
no,
In
no.
the worst scene,
I'm putting
the most
this in our-
cancelable scene of the film.
I'm putting this on our Christmas playlist.
Okay.
No, but yeah, I don't know. It is. It's just a wrestling match to me. It really is. It doesn't hold any kind of weight. I don't care anything about the lore or what the characters are doing. I really don't. I think it's just a movie that's got some fun scenes and some fun sequences and some ridiculous over the top action sequences. It's not scary at all. There's no scare to this, no tension, but I think it's fun. So I'm going to give it this is a little ridiculous. I'm going to give it a 2.5 and I'm going to give it half star for the Yabo. So it's going to be a 3-star for me, which seems high. I know, but that's just where, that's just where it lands. A little bit. I'm a little ashamed, but let's go, Bob. Bob, out of 5. What are you going to rate this thing?
Well, generally on the same page here. I think this movie is just as dumb and just as smart as it needs to be. It largely hits what you want from this, being that it does deliver on the promise of the name of the movie. You know, the two big bads do duel, and it's, I guess, mostly satisfying. It doesn't really hit the like vibes of that of like the best Friday the 13th movies that are out there, where like you've just got these kids being slowly stalked and picked off one by one at Camp Crystal Lake. And the better of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, they have like, the slower build up, and then you've got more creative kill sequences, I think, whenever like you get to know the characters and like what they're struggling with. I think Freddy's a little more creative in the better of those movies. And like this is just very, very silly, which is fine, really. It is fine. When I think of these characters, what I really want, this movie does not necessarily deliver, so I would not reach for this one over most of the other entries in either of the franchises. But it's fine. It's fine enough. It definitely does deliver on its promise. It's got a bunch of red shirts dropping goofy lines with a couple decent kills, and the big final fight sequence like does deliver overall. So not bad. More good than bad. Some shitty CG. Maybe a little too goofy for me in a couple moments, but overall, more good than bad. So yeah, I'm right there with you, I think, with a 3 out of 5 for this flick. Randy, how do you feel?
Yeah, so again, we're mostly simpatico on all this. I think that like this movie, I have a lot of nostalgic love for this movie, and that's going to factor in pretty heavily for me. But the things that this movie doesn't do well, the dialogue and shit like that, like the teens in general, I wish that this was Freddy versus Jason with Ash in tow, because then we would have a charismatic character to follow outside of our two villains. And because as it is, like we have fucking Kelly Rowland is pretty terrible in this, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like her and I always think this character, this actor is Miles Teller, but it's not. Linderman, the nerd character or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they do this like tit for tat for like a couple of scenes that is just like painful. They're supposed to be like just completely eviscerating each other with words, and it's like the worst fucking riot. Like it's the most painful, least offensive shit in the world. And then there's also actual offensive shit like fucking F slurs and stuff dropped late. I don't know. There's all kinds of weird shit happening in this movie when it comes to the teens. But the thing you come for is delivered upon. You get Freddy, you get Jason, you get home turf advantage for both of them at some point. You get both of them hurting each other with both their own weapons and with each other's weapons. Neither one comes out fully on top. Both of them are arguably the ones that won. They both have weaknesses, and they get to like spar. I do think that the biggest schism in that is that I think Jason is ultimately cast as the sympathetic character, while fucking Freddy is by far and more explicitly in this film than most a villain, like in a moral sense. They really go dark with him, and like explicitly so in a way that, like I said, they don't do in every single fucking Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I almost said Friday the 13th movie. So
poser.
I don't know. There's a lot to be said about this that ultimately doesn't really need to be said. It's a very stupid movie that is very much a wrestling match, and everything is built around that. Everything that does not exist for just explicitly that purpose of those characters duking it out is kind of negligible at best, and at worst, like a huge distraction and annoyance. The Jason Mewes character always bothered me. Like, just get like. It felt like a direct homage to the point of why not just call Jason Mewes and see if he's available, like, or maybe they did and he just wasn't, and they just found a substitute. I really expected that character to say Snoogans at one point every time I've seen this movie. Yeah, like there's a few bad kills. There's like Kelly Rowland, the fucking Alice in Wonderland kill. Those sucked. I do kind of like Catherine Isabel getting killed while in Freddy's dream, but not by Freddy, and having that be kind of the shock of it. I liked that. I thought that was unique and interesting. I thought that the bed kill was interesting, but like as far as red shirt kills, that might be about it. Like then everybody else.
I think you were off. You were probably still listening to Flaming Sword through the cornfield.
That was kind of cool. Yeah, the cornfield was like in general pretty cool. I think that a lot of that weight was carried by what I just said, the kill with Catherine Isabel for me, and by like the character who tells him to go fuck a pig or whatever, like sets him on fire, and then ultimately that's his kill. And like I think that like that character really kind of elevates a scene that is otherwise a little, I don't know, like that might be a little unfair. I think that character helps a lot in terms of like giving you somebody to like target as the focus of your hatred besides Jason. But again, that goes to my point about Jason not being so much of a villain in this one.
There's also the one where he takes his machete and stabs this like machine and shocks the guy. The electricity goes through Jason.
I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I thought
it's cartoony for sure.
It is cartoony, yes,
but it's
and that's
creative. I like talking
I don't know
about
if it's that creative. I'd say it's cartoony, and like some of the cartoonishness works, some of it doesn't. I think it works better when it's coming from Freddy, who can be Bugs Bunny, whereas Jason, I don't think can really be any of those characters, except for, I don't know, it just doesn't really work entirely. So all that said, I've been talking a lot, I'm rambling. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3 as well, because I like it more than I dislike it. I have a nostalgia for it. I acknowledge that. I'm being very subjective with that. It's a stupid movie with a lot of stupid parts, a lot of stupid lines, a lot of badly delivered lines, and a lot of shit that could be improved. Dialogue, kills, it's like etc. Fucking CG, goddamn, some of that CG needs to go away. But I still have such affinity for it. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3 anyway. I think that we're all in simpatico on that. So
quick math.
Hey,
our aggregate is a 3 even for Freddy versus
Snoogans.
Hey-o.
Way to bring that quick math there, guy.
We are the same. Hey, let's jump over to our Rotten Tomatoes segment and see what the critics and users think about Freddy vs. Jason.
Certified to death.
All right, ladies and germs. You see what I did there? This is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to ask these gentlemen to guess to the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is for both critics and users on RottenTomatoes.com for Freddy vs. Jason. So on RottenTomatoes.com, there is the tomatometer or the critic score and the poopometer or the user score. The critic score, as we usually start with, only has 166 reviews. 166 reviews. We're trying to figure out what percentage of those reviews are positive. I'm going to start with Bob tonight. Bob, what percentage of those 166 reviews would you argue are positive? Would you wager?
Not one for the critics, for sure. Not sure how low to go. I'm gonna go. Man, I'll take a 60 flat, I think.
60 flat from Bob. Soju, what about you?
Oh, 60 I think is too high. I don't think critics are gonna like this. I'm gonna play safe and say 50, but I think it's gonna be lower than that.
All right, some quick math tells me that there's an 8 percentage point difference between the correct answer and one of you. That correct answer is 42%. Soju's instincts are totally on point.
There's no way people like this. Yeah, I thought that was too high. Yeah, I think this is just our generation too. I mean, it kind of came out, like we said, the perfect time for us. So
totally. Yeah, it doesn't warrant more than a fucking 40%. We just have an affinity for it that pushes it to.
Yeah, I mean, even I felt a little ashamed giving it a 3. You guys seem to be fine with it. But
yeah,
I'm at peace with myself. If I start giving a shit about whether or not my reviews hold water, then we're all fucked. Because
that's why. Yeah, even when movies like Smile came out, I was like, oh, this is like really shit, and people seem to really like it. But I was thinking about, it's one of those kind of teen movies, right? Where when you see it when you're young, it kind of holds a special place for you.
Never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, you never seen anything like it before. And so, yeah, I try to consider those because, I mean, for God's sakes, we gave, Freddy vs. Jason a 3. So, overall, that's
that's us giving up our credibility once and for all.
It's fine for what it is,
Yeah.
It's fine.
But 42 seems appropriate too. This is one of those movies where if this was 20%, I'd be like,
yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that makes sense.
The only thing when Bob said 60, I'd be shocked if it was higher than 50. Even 50, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'd say if it got to 50, I'd be like, oh, good for that. But yeah, nothing higher.
Me too. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Okay, let's move over now to the user score. A totally different ball game for this particular film. There are over 250,000 reviews counted here, so a large number of reviews for Freddy vs. Jason from the users. Juice, we're going to go in reverse order. What percentage would you say are positive from these 250,000 plus reviewers? Are you frozen? What's happening?
Thinking. Processing.
Calculating.
I think this is going to be higher, but not much higher. I'll say 50 again.
50 solid?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did 50 last time, too. Okay. Bob, how about you?
Yeah, it's going to be higher than 42. Not much higher. There's a lot of nerds out there that probably would log on.
Not cool guys like us.
Oh, no, we're not nerds at all by any means. I'll take the over. Not like crazy, though. I'll take a 55. Why not? Let's do it.
55? My goodness.
55.
Thank you.
Obligation fulfilled. I played the bump.
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, I have to tell you, there's no math involved because one of you is spot on.
Oh.
Ringy-dingy in tow here.
Ooh.
This movie is a rare case of a fucking direct split 50%. Soju's walking
Damn.
with the week.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Rents.
Woo! That's a huge sweet,
that's
Bob.
all yeet, no skeet, no fun for anyone.
50%. Like, just think about how unlikely that feels. Like, I don't know. 50% of people, like, 50. It's a 50-50, boys. You go into a party in the woods.
50-50.
50% of people love Freddy versus Jason. 50% of them hate Freddy versus
I could
Jason.
see that. If I was at a
Yeah,
naked party
but
in the
also
woods.
too, you have to watch Freddy versus Jason. That's the thing about it. I mean, who's just I think that's reasonable of the people who are going to watch Freddy versus Jason.
Okay, that's a fair qualifier. Yeah, because like my mom's not watching this and reviewing. If everybody on Earth fucking reviewed this movie, it would be like
Well,
a 1%.
then exactly. That's the thing. You got to watch it first. You got to know going in that you're going to watch Freddy versus Jason, which the title alone is enough to scare most people off. So
It kind of lets
Yeah,
you know.
it's
It lets you know.
exactly.
It tells you what it is.
Yeah.
But I guess that's true of like most movies. Like not everybody's going to be fucking interested in horror
Not
movies
necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, I think some movies
There's
can be
crossover hits like
obscure
Jaws,
enough.
but like I don't know.
Jaws versus Freddy versus Jason.
Ooh, that's the movie. Freddy refuses to close Amity Island, and Jason has had enough.
Bruce the shark is just in the lake, Camp Crystal Lake somehow. Just
They
wrecking
transport
shit.
him there. He gets fucking Sharknadoed over there somehow.
Versus
He's eating the kids.
Yeah.
No, we need to do a Jaws versus what's that whale movie
Orca?
called? Orca, yeah, Jaws versus Orca.
I thought Jaws goes to Lake Placid would make sense.
Jaws versus Orca versus Anaconda.
He just dies
versus
instantly
fucking
because
Lake
it's not salt water.
It doesn't matter.
That's the thing. All the water in the world
They
has
give him- or they
become
give him a
the
big,
same
like-
boys, and all the
they give his-
creatures that live in them can just now travel across.
it's
All liquid
brackish.
is just liquid, you know?
It's all brackish, and they're all going
They
to
can't-
Manhattan.
They can live in soda pop if they wanted to.
That's what scientists tell me.
Jaws versus Orca takes Manhattan.
Oh my god.
English, Doc. We ain't scientists.
We ain't scientists. Randy, are you done? You got any goofy negative reviews?
You know what? I guess this one might have some funny negative reviews. Actually, I'll go for it. Let's figure that out now. Here's a negative review. We're not supposed to tell you who the ultimate winner is in the battle between Freddy versus Jason. Suffice it to say that you don't have to be clairvoyant to know this franchise isn't going to die, even if one of the characters supposedly does. Not funny. Sorry.
Hilarious.
All right.
One more for the fun of it. And let's hope it is some fun. You'll shake your head in disbelief at the nonsensical plot, machinations, and idiot character motivations required to bring the two terror titans together. Yeah, I guess that's
Hilarious.
true, but also, who gives a shit? Is our argument.
Hilarious.
Yeah, we're all laughing at these. Great. Thanks for making me do that.
Hilarious.
God damn. Do you have any trivia or what?
Trivia sucks on this one. I will say $30 million
Really?
budget. 100.
Didn't you say you looked at like 100 pieces
There's
of trivia?
so many things, and like none of them were really that interesting to me.
Oh damn! Okay.
It did
Big
make
old
like
doinks.
116 million in the box office, which really does make you scratch your head why they didn't make a sequel. So
Yeah, what the fuck?
Rights
Well,
issues
you know
is
what?
probably the issue.
Yeah, I was about to say, haven't we had a lot of Friday the 13th problems? Would that?
They did have like the reboot.
yeah, after
sequel
this,
not long after this, but
yeah,
Okay.
of Friday the 13th specifically. I got both of them.
yeah, and they are.
I think it was just like
what they
tastes change. Like this is already in a post Scream like slashers are stupid world, and this movie leans into that. Like there's only I think there's only so far you can push that before people stop giving a shit. Maybe the studios were afraid of that.
All right.
Fucking posers. Yeah, that's it. Let's skip trivia. Let's jump over to our Cooter of the week.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the week.
Juice, what is a Cooter and why do we hunt them?
Oh, Cooter's a character type in a straight chillin' slice. Cooter has to hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter, but we want the Cooter with the most points. The 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, do we have a Cooter this week?
I feel like we've already discussed Freddy as a Cooter, but needs to be revisited.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to be a Cooter in everything we cover. But but specifically in this movie, there are some different things going on. So, 1, sexual deviance. He's a pedophile.
Check.
Yeah. Explicitly pedophilic.
Manipulation. He's a big time manipulator.
Everybody. His whole thing is manipulation.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
Overall patheticness, I would say a little bit because in this movie, he gets his ass whooped, 1. But also 2, like he can't operate in the way he wants to because Jason's kind of killing his prey early. Like, that's kind of pathetic a little bit. Like, he's not the top dog, you know?
It's pathetic that you only get your strength from causing people to fear you, just in general.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess philosophically, sure, but I didn't. I'm not reaching for philosophy. Holy
I'm reaching
shit!
for.
I'm not reaching for
falafel.
Philosophy here.
Philosophy.
Let's go. What's left?
So patheticness, manipulation.
Actually, he looks kind of great in this movie in certain scenes. Like, I think that where he is facing off with Monica Keena in particular in her dream, where he's looking extra demonic. I think he looks fucking rad there.
All right.
Okay. Well.
Fine. That's fine. We're missing 1.
Are we?
Manipulation, smug arrogance. Oh yeah, smug arrogance is high. Yeah, so really, okay, everything but looking attire, which I feel like maybe somebody could present an argument for that. But yeah. But overall, 4 out of 5, solid.
I mean, yeah, strong Cooter, very strong.
Was there anybody else? Any of the little red shirt? The boyfriend at the beginning. I would say, he's
totally. He's like kind of like Prometheus Cooter. He packs in a lot of Cooter points in a very limited,
just a very short amount of time. Yeah.
How much?
I'm not going to tell you again. I need a massage. Okay.
He talks about feng shui a lot, or is that the other kid?
Oh no,
that's the other
combining
guy.
The 2 fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the same guy. They
really are.
Mr. Whiteman.
Yeah.
Yes. Pathetic, gets coat totally fucking cut in half and shit.
Like a bitch.
He didn't spill his beer though.
It's very, very important.
It's like still holding on to that beer.
For what? For ingesting? I don't think so.
So sexual deviance. Yeah, he's a bit of a prick, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if
he's
deviance, but
he's Andrew Tate. Like, I think he's deviance. Like, he's just manipulating this drunken teenage girl.
Yeah.
And treating her like shit the whole time.
You know what? He brought a bunch of beer. Yeah, he brought a bunch of beer. Get these teens drunk.
It's like, I don't like to be touched after, babe.
I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but he looks to be about 45 years old.
But he bought beer, so he's over 21.
Yeah,
not necessarily, but
presumably, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who can say in these movies?
He really hits the ghost Cooter point that, like, when he dies, you're like, fuck yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
exactly.
Fuck
that's a Cooter point that really, like, doesn't get enough love And he hits it hard.
He's
I
like
want to see that
you
dude
know,
die
Freddy is like
immediately.
the Cooter, but he's the real Cooter where
yes.
you want him to die. Yeah.
Stereotypical Cooter.
He's the
Freddy
Cooter of
Krueger's
the
like the evolved
non-villain
Cooter.
Cooters. Yeah.
He's an evolved Cooter. He's an elevated Cooter.
I would say I don't even know what that guy's name is, but that guy. Leather jacket guy.
Will, Bill,
Dick.
Phil, Jill, whatever his name.
Who fucking cares? He's
doesn't
dead and he should be.
Yeah.
Great.
That guy.
I think we got him.
We got him.
Some good Cooters. Lock them
All
up.
right.
We got Dracula
Yeah, boys.
Cooter and we got fucking
Throw away the key.
Cooter. We got them both.
We got him.
Sweet. Boys, let's talk about what we've been watching this week.
Finally.
Hey gang, what you been watching?
Ray and Diesel, what you been watching?
Yeah, so I went on an extended trip to my sister's wedding in North Carolina, followed by a visit to Florida for an early Thanksgiving with other family. So we did a lot of podcast listening, and in our car, that involves a lot of true crime. One of my favorite podcasts for a long time has been In the Dark, which is like a series-long investigation of one topic or another, some of which have like gone on to help, get unjustly arrested men absolved fucking decades after the fact, shit like that. Like big like Supreme Court cases and shit have hinged on some of this investigation. So it's like good shit. And we listened to one newer season called Blood Relatives that is about a case in England, and it's one of the most infamous cases of in England's recent history, I guess, of this rich boy who has been in jail, who's been in jail for having lied and supposedly engineered the situation where his sister would seem to have killed both of their parents and her kids. It's a very fucking crazy story. It doesn't give a definitive anything, which is often the case with true crime. You can investigate it as much as you want. It doesn't mean you're going to find an answer. So I don't know. It's fucking great though. It's amazing listening. This is the kind of true crime podcast or documentary that I like, where they really take a pretty fairly objective view of things, really go out of their way to find what things that are not otherwise available to the public and people have not scrutinized before. It's the good shit. It's the hard hitting shit. I respect it. It's good work. So In the Dark, Blood Relatives, good stuff. Also listen to Serial Productions, Serial, the podcast. They have a bunch of different seasons and mini shows. This one is a series called Nice White Parents about the school system, which is not really true crime, but it is a lot to do with injustices in the school system, specifically centering around intentional and unintentional segregation, specifically in New York and in a specific school. And that doesn't sound that interesting on the outset, but it was a very fucking fascinating listen. And it ends on a very weirdly positive note, which I did not expect. It does not usually happen in these podcasts.
In this day and age,
or in life, really. So I recommend that as well. I am in the middle of one we started called Left to Their Devices, which is about basically about kids growing up in the age of social media, what it's done to them, what its benefits, its costs, how the major social media organizations have dealt with or intentionally not dealt with problems involving youths and how they deal with how they're exposed to this shit, how they're monetized. It's very fucking bleak from what I've heard so far. About 3 episodes in on that. Also very good so far though, and very revealing, and yeah, it makes you feel some shit about the world. Okay, out of the fucking podcast world. Started watching 2 shows. One is called All Her Fault, starring Jake Lacey. Sarah Snook is the lead, really. Dakota Fanning, a few other names. Whatever, Natalie from The Bear. I can't remember that actress's name, but she's in it as well. A lot of people. And it's a fucking really decent show. I don't remember what it's on. I want to say it's like CBS or something, which is unusually good for CBS. It's like prestige drama level stuff. It's a miniseries based on a book about a woman, Sarah Snook, whose son goes missing one day. She goes to pick him up from a play date, finds out that he was never at this play date, that she was lied to via text, and it just spirals into this insane thing. And it's very like compelling. It makes you want to watch the next episode, the next episode, the next episode. And it's one of those shows where like people have secrets, and you find out a lot about those secrets bit by bit, drip feed, in a way that's still very, very compelling. So I recommend that. I've not finished it yet, but it's been quite fun. And I'll tell you, if I learned one thing from that show, it's that Jake Lacy is the most adept human being I've ever seen to play a smug, arrogant, fucking piece of shit, rich white dude. Like, he's the guy, you might recognize him from White Lotus. He played Alexandra Daddario's shithead husband.
Gotcha.
He was also in The Office playing Aaron's not Andy love interest in the later seasons, for people who give a shit about that. Great actor. No, nothing against him, but like, I'm not out here trying to make him, I'm not trying to be the soju to his Elijah Wood or anything, but his roles that he has taken have made me see him as the perfect receptacle for my hatred. So good job, Jake Lacy. And then last but not least, I have watched 2 episodes of Pluribus, the new Vince Gilligan show that came out on Apple TV. And it's a wholly different thing than Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. Like, it is very much like, I don't know how to describe it. It starts as like a pretty terrifying broad scale horror, and by episode 2 it's already starting to settle into this weird thought experiment, like psychological thing. I'm curious to see how they're gonna make this go more than a few episodes. Honestly, it seems like it could be like a mini series of like 4 episodes and then be done, and or like an extended episode of Black Mirror, but somehow they're turning this into a full series. I don't know if it's going to be ongoing after season 1 or not, but either way, like, Vince Gilligan has earned my trust. I'm fully on board regardless, and I'm ready to give it a try. But yeah, like, so far it's been fascinating. I just don't see where it goes from here. So yeah, excited to see more. All right, that's my slate's clean. Soji, what about you? What have you been watching?
Oh, so much, because we didn't cover, all the stuff from Halloween, but, watched all the classics, So I won't go over those. But since then, you know what? For the first time, I'd never seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I watched that for the first time. And only the director's cut is available on Netflix, so it's quite long, and I'm kind of curious to know what the original was like, because one of my biggest problems was like, this was too long. I feel like a decent amount of this could be trimmed out of this, so I'm kind of curious to see what it was. But generally, it was quite interesting to see. I wouldn't necessarily say that I loved it, but I feel like I could like it a lot more if it wasn't so long. So, jury's still kind of out on that, about how I really kind of feel about it, but it was interesting. It was definitely an interesting watch, especially it having the reputation that it has and everything like that. But, yeah, that was a first time watch for me. I watched another movie called Moonlit Winter, which is a sneaky Christmas film, not horror. This is kind of like a romantic Korean drama from 2019. And it was good. I liked it a lot. It was on my Netflix. I don't know if it's on everybody's Netflix, but if you're looking for a kind of different Christmas movie that's a little sad, a little romantic, I enjoyed that one for winter season. Very cold. It's set in Japan. It's a Korean movie, but it's set mostly in Japan, and it looks cold as shit. Let's see. I've been rewatching Avatar, the animated series, because I'm doing it completely in Korean with Korean subtitles and Korean, like it's a cartoon that has the overdubs or whatever. So that's really fun. That show is just so damn good. It's just So good. I think that's just one of my favorite series overall. It's like holds up so well as a cartoon, and it's just unfortunate that they've tried to do so many like live action remakes because the cartoon's just perfect. It really is. It's just delightful.
Just let it be. Yeah.
Just let it be. Yeah. I do think so. I really loved too the sequel that they did. What was it? Cora or whatever. Cora.
It's solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really solid. And I did hear that they were going to do an animated version of like Aang's adult life. You know, they do some kind of flashbacks in Korra, which I thought that they handled well. And they gave Aang and like his squad some interesting dynamics. So I think they're going to do an animated, which I'm okay with generally. As long as it's animated. Stop this live action bullshit.
Yeah.
Bob, what you been watching?
Just to add on to yours real quick, I was curious about the runtime of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The theatrical version is 2 hours and 15 minutes. The director's cut is 2 hours and 17 minutes. So they're basically the same runtime, apparently.
Mine was the one I watched was longer than that.
Really? Okay.
Let me see. I mean, I could tell. Let me just pull up my Netflix real quick. But I'm pretty sure it was like an hour and a half or something.
It's the sadist's cut.
Yeah, it was really long. But yeah. Oh no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong about that. It is 2 hours, 17 minutes. Okay.
So okay.
It felt really long.
I mean, that's not a short movie.
Wow.
So
no. Okay. Well, maybe that I'm not as crazy. Maybe it's one of those movies I felt didn't necessarily live up to its reputation, which sometimes happens. But yeah, I don't know. All right then, Bob.
Yeah, I've been watching a handful of different things here. I checked out the John Candy documentary called I Like Me, which is on Amazon Prime. And it's just lovely. If you're into John Candy, any John Candy movie, even if you're not really, the documentary is about 2 hours long, and it's funny to see everybody just like... Not funny. It's like heartening to see everybody talk about this man in like such a positive light. It actually opens up with Bill Murray, like being Bill Murray. He's like trying to rack his brain to think about like one critical thing to say about John Candy, and he can't come up with anything. He's like struggling to do it. It's just it's nice. Obviously, it's sad because John Candy passed at such a young age, but it's heartening, I think, to watch. And Tom Hanks' son directed it. What's it? Colin Hanks directed it. Yeah. Tom Hanks is in there. There's just a bunch of people faces that you'll recognize saying sweet things about John Candy, which is kind of cool. I did end up watching Begonia in the movie theater. That's Yorgos Lanthimos' most recent film with Emma Stone.
Remake of a Korean film.
Yes, and I have not seen the Korean movie. I'm curious how similar this is going to be to that. I think
it's pretty different from what I've heard.
I would expect that to be the case. I'd be surprised if they were super similar. I fucking loved this movie, honestly, though. I really had a good time with it. It went to some darker places than I was really expecting.
Okay.
Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone both do fucking great jobs in this. I recommend it if you want something that's a little rough around the edges, perhaps. I think if you've seen any Yorgos Lanthimos movies, you know kind of the vibe he's bringing. I really enjoyed it though. I thought it was a great movie. I ended up watching Ari Aster's most recent movie, Eddington, which is currently on HBO Max. If you want to check it out, I did not like this movie. It is 2.5 hours long.
Oh man.
What movie?
Eddington, Ari Aster's latest.
It's the like Western thing, right?
It's
with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, the COVID Western is what it is.
Right.
And it's calling it a Western. It's just in Arizona. It's not a Western. Like there are some guns in it. Like I don't know.
Is there a 10-gallon hat?
All right.
Yeah, there's some hats. There's some.
Well, then
hats.
that's a Western.
There's some great
If
performances.
a Christmas tree makes it a Christmas movie, then a 10-gallon hat makes it a cowboy movie.
You know what,
There you
Randy?
go.
Who am
I'm
I to
okay with
argue?
that.
You got me.
Yeah, you know what?
You got me.
God damn it.
Good point, Randy.
You got
God
me.
You're right.
This
Don't want it to be right.
this movie. You're correct, Randy. This movie is just an endurance test, man. It's just
No.
it's all
Why
the,
does he keep doing that?
It's all the worst shit that happened during the pandemic condensed into 2.5 hours, and by the end of it, maybe I missed the point, but for my understanding of the movie, the point is wow, that's a lot of fucked up shit, ain't it?
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it is a lot of fucked up shit. The only reason I can come up with for making a movie like this, because it doesn't help you process anything. It doesn't add any context or additional, it doesn't illuminate anything. The only reason I can come up with for him making this movie is down the road, people who did not live through the pandemic, if they want to just throw on a movie for 2.5 hours and feel what that might have felt like, maybe this will give you an idea.
Well,
of
you know
that,
what? We are kind of removed a little bit. There might be somebody reaching 19, trying to
that maybe wasn't alive or old enough to remember or alive at all. Maybe you want to give that a spin.
Yeah.
I think it captures a lot of stuff except for the isolation portion of COVID. It does not really touch on the isolation really hardly at all. But just about everything else. It is not enjoyable, and I did not enjoy watching it, but it is out there for you if you want to check it out. Revisited the movie called Werewolves Within, which Josh Rubens directed this one a few years ago. It's a
with Sam Richardson?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and the girl from the AT&T ads, I can never remember her name. She's in it as well, and it's kind of a whodunit. It is about this forest ranger who moves to this small town in the middle of winter, and they kind of get this storm rolls in, and they're snowed into this inn, and there may or may not be a werewolf running around town, terrorizing folks, and they're not really sure who is the werewolf, if there even is a werewolf. So it does kind of reminds you of the Thing vibes, but way more comedic. The Thing is so deadly fucking serious, but it's they're snowed into this very isolated place, and they're not sure who they can trust for a large portion of the movie. So it does give you some Thing vibes.
I'm sorry, Justin. While you're reaching right there, it looks like you're it looks like you're cupping Freddy's balls.
You are. It really does.
Nice.
That's incredible.
Hey, Fred, what you got? What you got going on down here?
Hey, buddy.
Whatever you're grabbing, it must be pretty big.
Does the carpet match the drapes, Fred? Oh,
has it burned?
I am in the process now. In the middle of this, I got a email asking me to apply for a press badge for the Independent Film Festival in Seoul, but the deadline is passed, so the deadline is passed, so they're asking me to do it as quickly as possible, and I have to work off of 2 laptops.
Hell yeah,
sure. 2 laptops while giving a hand DJ to Freddy Krueger? That's impressive.
I know. I got to get our business card off my other laptop, so I apologize. I am a little distracted.
You do what you got to do.
Just could not ignore that.
Oh, God.
Werewolves Within. Yeah, check it out. It's a fun one. That's really all I've been watching. Let's go ahead and jump over to our Hotline Screams.
Hotline Scream.
If you guys would like to call in and leave a voicemail for next week's show, hit us up at 904-638-3231. First up, we're going to hear from our friend Nas. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nas. Listened this morning to y'all's episode on Frankenstein, and I loved it. I loved the episode. Loved all the opinions y'all had, and I love all the opinions people have in Slack. I absolutely love this movie. It was like my first real Frankenstein movie I saw. I never seen the original, never seen Bride, never seen anything with Frankenstein in it. This was the first one, and I absolutely love it. I never read the novel, so I didn't really know what to expect going in. Didn't know really the characters like Elizabeth and William, and I knew Victor and the creature, of course, but that's everything. I found it fun because I was really immersed into the movie. Like from the beginning, I was really intrigued. I was quite hyped to watch this movie also. So I was really immersed. Like the scenes where the creature is trapped underneath the tower, like in the basement with the water and stuff. I really enjoyed that scene, and I really, like I said, I was really immersed until my girl Mia Goff started talking about her throat game. Then I was like totally trolled off because, like, what? I'll have to check if I was watching the right movie, because usually I skip those parts, you know. But no, like, of course, it's like, so I don't understand that line. Like, the creature has already yelled a million times, Victor, 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 and then she says, "Look, my throat, it makes sound." Like, oh, of course he knows it. He's not that dumb. He's maybe dumb in the beginning, but not that dumb. Like, he knows it comes from his throat, not from his ass. But, you know, that's the only thing I really don't understand from the movie. Yes, some sets look really fake because I think post-production, they maybe fixed it up some things, but I don't know. Could also be just Netflix, because I bet if you buy a Blu-ray, shit is gonna look great. Yeah, anyways, loved it. Loved the episode. That's really it. Also, yeah, The Devil's Lettuce. You said it's banned, or like banned in Europe. Not everywhere. Here in Belgium, yes, but in the Netherlands, no. Anyways, love you guys. Bye-bye.
Dude, could you imagine if Mia Goth took the creature's hand and put it on her ass and said, "See, my ass,
Whoa.
it makes sound.
My ass is speaking."
I took that as like she was more taking the time to show him how it worked, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can make different sounds or whatever,
Like making a
because
sound and then
she's
sort of
like
understanding
how
that
it
they're two different
changes.
things.
Yeah.
But oh man, you said something. He said something that was of interest to me. I can't remember now. But I've been drinking. Have I said that? I've been drinking. Yeah. I was gonna bring up, like, regarding the look of Frankenstein, which we talked about at length last week. I did post something on the Slack that's like a video that's apparently going around. I've seen it shared other places about haptic filmmaking. HAPTIC. It's like I guess kind of a viral video in film dork circles,
Like verse
and
optic.
it was pretty versus optic. Yes,
Yeah, I saw.
and it was like, it's pretty fucking interesting, and I like it. Kind of made a pretty compelling point to what we were discussing with Frankenstein. I don't want to like necessarily go into it because it's very, very technical and in depth. And it's a little bit pretentious maybe, but I did find it very interesting, and I think it's worth watching to sort of like figure out like what it is about that weird sheen that we all kind of identify but can't identify. I think it helps kind of at least kind of understand what might be causing those sort of things in an oblique way. So anyway, for what it's worth, haptic versus optic film design, I think, might be the name of the video. You'll find it if you look for it. I think I've seen it. Like I said, I've seen it shared in a number of places, so it's getting some play.
I gotta watch that. I saw you shared it, but I didn't have time to watch it today. I'm curious about exactly what that is, because it's something I've noticed in more movies. You know, maybe not explicitly as starkly as in Frankenstein, but it's something that I've noticed before. So yeah, what is it? What's going on?
To be clear, it does not mention Frankenstein 2025 at all. It's not dealing with that directly. It's dealing with like just the general idea of like people think digital recording looks a certain way, and that's why modern movies look kind of bland and like this or that. Like he goes into all the reasons that maybe modern filmmaking is cutting too many corners or is just not landing the realism that you expect from a movie. You know, we talked about like I remember Miles last week on the Slack was talking about how like, man, can they just not afford to explode in it to like make a fire anymore? A fire is so much more compelling when it's real filmed than when you put it in digital. And I think that's totally true. And this video deals with that directly and a few other things as well. It's worth watching is all I can say. I wish I could remember the name of the creator, but it was timely and interesting.
Cool. Thanks for calling, Nos. Always good to hear from you, brother. Next up, we're hearing from our friend, the librarian. Let's hear what she's got to say.
Hello, girl bosses. Hey, so I decided to edit your question last week about a horror baddie fight-off. For Soju's sake, I'm turning it into a Hotline Kinks and asking instead about a horror baddie fuck-off. For that, I would like to see 2024 Nosferatu versus 2025 Frankenmang versus me. Who will win? Actually, I am the winner in that scenario. Yeah. I once had a guy I was seeing last year text me, "I'll bite you through the sternum" after Nosferatu, and he might be the one that got away. So, anyway, that's what I'm into. Bye!
I genuinely don't know what was being communicated.
I don't think there was a question, but maybe there. Like we can pull one out from that. What's a creature you'd like to fuck?
Whoa!
I'd fuck a space vampire. I think we all can agree on that one.
All right. Well,
vampires in general. I mean,
the life force space vampire. Sure.
Take me to the underworld land, please. I'd like to go there.
Hot topic. Underworld land.
Underworld land. Yes. I don't know, man.
You don't know which creature you want to bite.
What creature do you want to fuck?
Them werewolf ladies in Trick or Treat are looking pretty good.
That's true.
The thing is, like, is it assumed that you're going to die at the end? Because if so, then there's a different answer than if you think you are trying to escape at the end.
Or you can bang a vampire and potentially live forever, you know?
Yeah, as a slave.
It seems like
not necessarily.
Most of the creatures who live forever like don't love it.
Yeah, it seems like it's not the funnest way to live.
They still know how to do it right. They don't know how to live like Soju. That's the problem.
Jai-Stein will teach you everything.
What they got to do is review horror movies for life.
For life. If I could live forever, I could just review all the horror movies. Yeah. They don't have that going on, you know.
Jai-Stein.
Boys, if we could be immortal, you want to just keep doing the podcast forever? Just keep it going?
Might as well.
We aren't already?
Might as well. Yeah.
This is what
there's any vampires out there listening who are fans of the Straight Chillin' podcast. If you want to give us
the greatest patron we've ever had.
How many podcasts?
Come to Korea and give it to me first, just to make sure it works, and then
would be fine.
How many podcasts have hit?
We can recast my Randy when he's done, but
I don't know. Probably not a lot.
Not a lot.
We gotta be in the like top 10% at least. I would think.
Yeah.
Top 10% of what?
Podcasts.
You said how many podcasts have been around for 12 years?
Like not a lot.
Most of them have the good sense to hang it up. Not us. We never say die, even at our own
We
peril.
definitely got to make it at least to 696.
696 years.
Years.
Yeah, we can do years. 666. That's the goal.
Is the absolute goal. We'll hit 600. We'll hit 666. We'll hit 696. If we don't hit 700, I'll be okay with that.
Just 4 more.
What a quitter.
Yeah, just 4.
You might as well just
Fucking
knock it
quitter.
out.
No, 696 would be
Not
perfect.
6969. What do you hate? What do you hate? Fun? What is?
But I just feel like if we really did hit 700, is there anything really special after that? I don't think
Well,
so.
remember,
Did you just ask if we really hit 700 years?
700 episodes, Randy. Jesus.
which is not that far away.
It's not.
Like 2 years away or some shit.
About 3.
I
There's
don't know.
the one
My
thing
God.
that I always have in mind is Joe Bob, which he absolutely would not remember this. We'd have to play it back for him. But whenever some friends of the show got us that cameo from Joe Bob, he said to invite him on episode 800.
Straight chiller will never die.
So
That's
if we-
true. That
if
would
we
take
hit
another 2 years. So 5 years.
800.
You think he's still around in 5 years?
Man, I hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
he's getting up there, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll just have to double up 2 shows a week. Just expedite
yeah.
that shit.
Well, if we're immortal, then we can do it.
What is this?
We
What
can
is this we're signing up?
we can sick my boy Jystein over on Joe Bibe Briggs to make him immortal, and then
Sure.
Oh,
it's all good.
I'm gonna look up Joe Bob Briggs' age. He's 72. He's 72, and so we got about 5 years to reach 800.
You're forgetting that he is probably actually a vampire at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 years, boys. Oh my God. We could do it though. When we think back, let's see, 5 years ago was 2020 COVID. That was our peak, baby. We were right.
We really peaked when the
Right
world
when humanity
crashed.
was at its lowest, we rose right to the top
like a phoenix
The cream rises, boys.
to the top.
Oh,
No stop.
man. We're
But-
gonna keep going forever. Straight
Maybe.
chilling.
Well, hey, thanks for calling, librarian.
Ever.
Spring break forever.
Hope we answered
Straight chilling.
whatever
boy.
question you may or may not have answered or asked or whatever.
We need to put our names into more people's mouths. More people need to say straight chilling. Will never
That sounded
die.
so.
You put what into their
fucked up.
knives?
Nah, it's normal. What I
hey.
said is normal.
What I've said is normal. It's the way you took it that's
Yeah, Bob,
abnormal.
it's your mind that's fucked up, not my mouth.
My mouth is sumptuous and
My
sweet.
mouth
Everyone
is
agrees.
Perfect.
Your mouth might be kind of fucked up. I'm not
No, it's perfect. I
Okay.
assure you.
All right.
Do you want the mustache on or off?
half on, half off?
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Hey, thanks for calling, Librarian. Again, if you guys are listening and would like to call and leave a voicemail for next week, hit us up at 904-638-3231. We'll be back next week with a brand new show. It is actually your boy Rand Diesel's host pick.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Randy, what are we talking about next week?
We are talking about the Vincent Price I'm Told classic, The Abominable Dr. Phibes or Phoebes. Have not watched it yet. Don't know for sure.
This is your takeover, Randy? This is what you
My
chose?
takeover.
Take
This
it
is what
over.
I've chosen. This is what I've inflicted upon you. And
Wow.
I have no idea if it's a slight or a benefit. I have no idea.
I guess this is why I always win the triple polls over here. So,
Wow.
I guess.
Okay.
I don't.
you know,
The
I'm gonna love the
anonymous triple
shit
feature
out of this
polls.
movie.
I hope,
This
I
is gonna
hope-
be like one of my favorite movies ever.
No,
now.
I hope you hate it. I genuinely hope you hate it now. I hope it's a drag. I hope you suffer.
I
through
hope
it.
I love it and you hate it.
Likewise, Monfrere. Likewise.
It's Randy's takeover. Fucking hates it, and it's one of my favorite movies. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's what we need.
That's what we need.
The collective.
Speaking
the
for
royal we.
all, as always.
That'll
The
keep
humility runs deep here.
It'll keep us in your mouths forever. Check out the abominable.
Make sure you
Dr.
put us in your
Phibes.
mouths as much as possible.
Put us in your ear holes and your mouths, whatever orifices, really.
Really, any hole is fine.
Just make sure they're jam packed.
Yeah,
full
Mom
of straight
always
chilling.
said.
Mom always said, watch the abominable Dr. Phibes from 1971. Get ready for next week's show. Randy's You Pick. Prompts for next week. People to call in, leave a voicemail. Favorite mashups that never were, perhaps.
Yeah, give us your mashups.
Favorite Vincent Price flicks.
Yeah, both are.
Know what? Pennywise versus Pinhead. Look, you got two.
Ooh, Pinhead's a
interdimensional beings.
Yeah, what could Freddy or Jason do to Pinhead that he wouldn't be like, ooh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
no.
Ooh, I hate it.
Don't torture me. I'll come.
Oh, please don't stab me with your.
Well, Bob, just going all subtlety all the way. No,
dirty bird.
I mean,
no tension there. Just
I've seen it on a bumper sticker. I don't know.
Sure. Yes, that's where you saw.
You do live in Florida, so I'm sure that's true.
No, that's not impossible. That's true. There might be a Gooner mobile out there. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
Call in and let us know. I don't know.
Tell us about your Gooner mobile.
Yeah. Tell us about your bumper sticker that doesn't exist but definitely should. 904-638-3231. Check out the Abominable Dr. Phibes. Until next week, as always, all you mother chuckers, please keep chilling.
Snoogans.